Morning, everyone. How we doing today? Saturday, time to take a breath. We got through, the first of probably a couple of scary weeks. I don't know about you, but I, for one, am feeling better and better and better about where we're going. We are tackling the big problems, right? The monster problems. This $2.2 trillion bill, probably the first of a couple of direct payments, right? I have been very clear throughout this channel that we're asking the service sector to stay home, and it's not lost on anyone that we have a lot of people living paycheck to paycheck. So asking them to stay home is not easy, but you remove that stress when checks show up. We remove that stress when we turbocharge unemployment benefits. So again, we're tackling the monster problems, and frankly, the problems that have to be addressed at such a level that only the federal government can tackle. So huge success, very encouraging. I'm here to tell you that this first direct check, I expect two more. I think one more is a lock. Probably 3 to 4 weeks out. They should probably already start talking about it. I think I read this morning, yeah, Nancy Pelosi, who I typically don't agree with a bunch, is absolutely right. They need to be talking about it now. We don't want to have kind of the down to the wire discussion like last time. So, again, as long as this is a national emergency, we need to realize that checks and bills are due monthly, and we just need to be doing that. Hence my call to just shut the country down. It's just easier, faster to do it that way than to let it kind of stretch out over multiple weeks as you see this thing kind of move inland, which is not helpful. A week ago we weren't talking about New Orleans. Now it's kind of the hot spot right behind New York, and that will continue if we don't shut it down. Right, shut it down. Go into do something that you and I probably never thought we would do in America. But I think it has to happen. I think it's just so contagious, and the ramifications of overwhelming the healthcare system is not a good thing for anyone. So again, I think I see another couple of checks coming as we move through this. It is going to be interesting as we move through this, but again, I think the first week of bad news is behind us. I think we have next week. Again, is kind of the 2 weeks I was calling. This might bleed into a third week. But just for example, what's coming out next week? Monday, pending home sales. I believe that is for March, so that will be likely a scary number. It will be kind of muddy, though, because the first 2 weeks weren't really high impact, but still, it'll be pretty telling. Tuesday, consumer confidence. Again, for March, that is going to be, I can't see how that's a good number. Car sales Wednesday, man, fell off a cliff, I'm assuming. Thursday, jobless claims. I don't see anybody talking about this, but it was 3.2 as I remember last Thursday. I actually, unfortunately, think it might be bigger next week. We're talking 4 million. Because again, I thought a lot of people tried to hold on to see where this stimulus package was going to land, and I think they've realized retail, hotels, restaurants, it's like, okay, let's furlough everyone, pay their health insurance, which is nice of them, but let's get them some benefits. So that's going to be scary. And then the unemployment report is Friday, where we go from 3.5 to, gosh, 9, 8, something up there, right? So next week's going to be a bunch of scary numbers, a lot of headline grabbing, but I want you to be ready for them. Because again, we may have a third week of bad news, but at some point it's all going to be there. And then the good news will start to overwhelm the bad news. And that's the tide I've been looking for. And, we're going to see that. I think we'll see it in New York first, right? New York is a very scary place right now. The numbers and the scenes that we're seeing all the way out in California is scary. My daughter's in New York, so very scary as a parent. She is actually in Queens, which is the hardest hit if you believe the numbers. So, not a very warm and fuzzy feeling as a dad to know that, but we check on her all the time. So it'll turn in New York first, right? First, the infection rate will slow down. Hospital will start to function as opposed to being scarce. But that will start to happen across the country. Again, shutting down the country is the right idea for 30 days. Let's just stop having these hot spots spring up, but we will get there. The other thing is interesting is I've kind of peeled apart some of this $2.2 trillion bill. I haven't found it yet. I saw a few links, but I need to find some time to see if I'm really willing to read 1,000 pages or 800 pages or whatever it is. But first and foremost, it does appear that a lot of it is aimed at the consumers. Right. Again, the $1,200 check, $500 per kid. Awesome. It's a question of checks or direct deposits or how that's going to happen, but the money's coming. Very impressed with the increase in unemployment benefits. That is a very good thing. Looks like a lot of small business SBA kind of loans, grants, which is interesting. I don't know much about that. I don't have a small business. I did look at the SBA site yesterday just to kind of feel what it's about. Lots of documentation appears to be required, but again, if you run a small business, a lot of help there for you, and some grant money as well, meaning forgivable and things. So lots of things there. Something I just saw today that I'd never heard before. Actually saw it yesterday, but verified it today. Apparently, there's something in the bill for real estate investors, the Uber one percenters. Basically, they're kind of in their mind correcting a change from 2018. Basically, where they can write off their non-cash losses, depreciation against other gains, such as the stock market. They had previously been held to a limit of the first $500,000. Now it's unlimited, and it appears you can go back 2 years, and it's for the next 3, so it's a 5-year period. So there are some very, 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 very rich folks who are going to have access to more cash. I'm not surprised. But again, it just goes to show you the power of real estate. The things that you have, that benefit of depreciation is magical if you use it correctly. So pretty cool. The next thing it's interesting is my students. We had our call yesterday, and they're already starting to see a change in their market. If you know our story at all, one rental at a time, it's kind of, I consider it boring, right? We were buy and hold investors, conservatively financed, but we learned a market that we never lived in, still have never spent the night in. And now's the time. If you're thinking about real estate investing, you need to learn your market now. You are going to be able to see in a 90-day window the market change. And typically it doesn't happen that quick or that fast. But it's happening right now, right? They're already seeing price drops. They're already seeing inventory come back on the market. They're already seeing, at least in a couple of examples, the magical capital letters, right? Must sell. As I've said all along, right? Motivated sellers are going to start raising their hand, and buyers, owner-occupant buyers are disappearing. So real estate investors, this is your time. But don't gamble. You need to learn your market. If you learn your market today, it's going to be like learning your market on Cliff Notes, because it's going to be all compact. And I mean, you literally could be looking this afternoon, and then by next Friday, you're already seeing changes. It normally doesn't go that fast. But if you can learn your market, understand what a bad, average, good, and great deals are, that skill's going to mean something, right? If we're going into the changing market like I think we are, this is something. Oh yeah, look at that. Jackie's agreeing with me. Decreasing in price, seller motivated listings. This is the time. And if you don't know how to learn your market, it's not hard. It's not hard, but it does take effort. You need to look at the link below. Just check the outline out. You can look at students, answering or student reviews. It's focus and execution and confidence. It's really simple. It's less than $200. You have to learn your market. Don't gamble. Have to learn your market. And you're going to get that window. You got 90 days. Now you're staying home anyway. You might as well execute the plan. Normal time, students were probably taking 2 or 3 months to do all the homework in my course. Now you're home. You could probably get it done in 2 weeks, maybe 3. Take advantage of this. Spend a couple $100, learn your market. You have a skill that you'll be able to use for the rest of your life. And you'll know what I mean by good and great. And I would tell you today, only do great deals. If motivated sellers are raising their hand, only do great deals. In a hot market like we just left, sometimes you got to do a good deal. But for the next 6 months, let's do great deals. Just for example, I've locked up 3 houses in the last 2 weeks that I consider great deals. We're putting 6 and 20 money on them, right? The program that I talk about all the time for my private investors. And I just wrote an offer yesterday on a must sell. And again, let's just talk about it, right? The must sell listing came out at 75 grand. I actually wrote it at 50. Why not? Right? I don't have to buy, but if you truly want to sell, you want to get liquidity, I wrote the offer at 50 grand. It's obviously a fixer and needs a bunch of work, so it won't qualify for others. All the fix and flippers don't have any money. So that's interesting. Really? Yeah. So it could be. Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting time. You have to know your market, right? If you're in a market in Texas and you're writing 10K offers on stuff, great. I mean, again, I don't know your market at all, but learn your market. Understand what average is, right? Every market has an average, but if you take the time to learn it, you can do great deals. You're going to be able to do great deals the next 6 months if you have the capital and you can get a loan. I think getting your first 4 is pretty easy today's environment. But you got to learn it. Don't gamble. Do yourself a favor. Check the outline in the course below. It's helping students every day. Join the private Facebook group. And then, of course, I do Friday calls just with my students. And we went through like an hour of material just yesterday on all their questions. So I'm very excited about what's coming. I know we're going to have another week of bad news. I've been telling you it's coming. So hopefully no one is surprised. But once we get to the bottom of this, it will just start feeling better, right? It's felt terrible the last month to 6 weeks. But boy, when we turn this thing from an emotional perspective and we start seeing the goodness compound, that's going to be fun. Most of my net worth was done when motivated sellers were raising their hand. And if you pay attention and you learn your market, you can capitalize just like me. So do yourself a favor, check the outline below. Let's see what happens. Again, I'm here for you if you're in the course. If you're near Dallas, all over 100K. I don't know Dallas, but this is good, man. Keep it up. Keep doing what you're doing. Again, I'm very, very encouraged about what's coming. And again, one more week of bad news. Don't be shocked. Don't let the headlines fool you. We're going to get through this. We're halfway through the negative. So it's coming. We're going to get there. All right, everybody, have fun. Make sure you learn your market. You're staying home anyway. If you don't learn your market now and take advantage, man, you're missing a golden opportunity. I don't know what else to say. Take care. Have fun.